Well, I scrounged around a bit, and lo and behold, I've got a whoa, back that out of there. I got a cap. I have a what the hell is this called? I'm assuming a rotor. You can see the pretty yellow and red label there on all these. A set of contact points here, and there we go. And probably a condenser here. Anyway, you can see they're all in this pretty box here. Anyway, friend and I decided that maybe this company here now owns a cardboard box manufacturing plant, because these guys here, made in Spain, the cap made in Spain, the points made in Brazil, and the rotor is made in Turkey. Anyway, I didn't see Germany anywhere on there. Maybe that's where the boxes are made. I just don't know. But anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and put all this stuff on there since I have it on hand. Anyway, we'll be back. Okay, basically to change this stuff out, it's a lot easier to do out of the car, so that's what I'm going to do here. First thing, you pop your condenser wire here off of your coil. It's generally a green one, and also generally it's longer than it needs to be. I know a lot of times when you get a pit in a mountain on your points, it's a condenser issue. Another thing that'll cause points to burn up is if there is too many volts running down there. But anyway, so you pop your condenser wire off of there. You just get on this little 10mm clamp here. A lot of these have kind of a locking nut on the back side to hold the little bolt, and then you can just loosen the front. Whether or not this one does, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of remember how this goes back in with my two clamps that direction, condenser in the back, and it feels like this little locker guy held on that nut, so that should loosen this up. Yep, and just pop it up on out of the hole. The distributor drive has the two, I think I'm in the right place, two little ears on it, and they're not centered on the shaft. They're offset to one side, so basically it only goes in one way when you put it back in there. It's always nice if you have a new O-ring here. I've probably got one stashed somewhere, but I'm not going to take the time to dig it up. It's not leaking too bad up out of there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, so you pop it up out of there, and it's a heck of a lot easier to work on. Anyway, I'll get it set up on a table, and I'll be back to you. Okay, there we go. Actually, this was my camera stand a minute ago, so now it's going to be my workbench. Anyway, I moved you up another place. Let me get some kind of light on this subject. See what's happening here. Alright, pretty simple. One screw holding the condenser on over here. Go ahead and pop it off. I've got my little, where are we at? Right here. Little, whoop, I had my little screw that holds the points. Put it back up here. I guess we'll put it in the bag and tag here so we don't lose it. And then we'll pop this other one out that holds the condenser. but not with that screwdriver. Okay. And this one here has a little bitty washer. Probably a tiny wavy washer. Anyway, we'll leave them right there for the time being. Pull that condenser out of the way. And I'm not throwing that condenser away just simply because it was still working. And someday in a pinch, if I got something that just flat doesn't work, I can go scrounge that off the shelf and put it back together and use it temporarily until I can afford or get to the parts store, whatever. Anyway, new condenser here. Pulled it out of the which one? Made in Turkey box. And I'm going to widen you guys out just a bit. There we go. Made in Turkey box. It has a contact that goes on the inside of the distributor through that hole. Fits down in this little clamp, U-shaped clamp there on those on that condenser, where right above where the screw is that mounts it. So got a little notch in your little rubber guy here. So slide it up in through there, through the little notch, just like so. And then we'll put it on the side of the distributor there. Get this wire business out of my way. And then go ahead and put this little screw with its little wavy washer back in there to hold it in place. Pretty simple. Like I said, these cars are pretty simple. I had no idea about Volkswagen when I started on them, and I've managed for a lot of years just asking questions or reading my idiot book, or nowadays watching YouTube. Darren's taught me a lot of things, a lot of tricks. He knows a lot of stuff. I don't know jack compared, but I keep him on the road and running down the road, so I guess I'm alright. Cheap transportation, fun hobby. Gotta love hobbies. Anyway, so there's that. Now I'll go ahead and, I think these are the points. These are the made in Brazil pieces, and yes, in fact, set of points. So we'll pop those in there, get this wire up out of here. And they tuck these wires in, I don't know why, when they're new. They tuck them in and wrap them around, and you practically have to take the points apart to get them out of there in order to use the points. There's just no way to untwist that wire without pretty much taking these things apart to get them up and out of there. So I guess they hope you know a little something if you're installing them, because if you pop these apart, you got to figure out how they go back together, and they got a spring and pain in the butt anyway. So I've got that up and out of there. Snap this thing back down where it goes. Maybe. There it is. Now it's back in place. Everything's good and lined up. And we'll go ahead and throw that bad boy in there. There is on the pivot of your points, down on the bottom, there's the shaft that it pivots on sticks through a little bit, which goes into this hole down in here. That's what holds the pivot end of this guy. So you get that down in there, and you'll feel it drop down in where it belongs. possibly. There it is. And then screw goes in the other end, pretty self-explanatory. And try and drop it down in there and get it started. I don't have a magnetic flat screwdriver as such. But I could make one real quick. Maybe I'll do that as a separate video. So I'm going to take a little hiatus here and make another little blurb about making your screwdriver magnetic. There's a couple ways to do it. Anyway, I guess I can go ahead and show you the quick, easy way. Anyway, so here's your screwdriver right here, and right now it's not magnetic, so I have my little magnetic parts bowl here, and if you just take it and rub your screwdriver across the magnet a few times, it becomes magnetic. And whoop, see, picked up my little screw there. That's kind of a temporary deal, which can help in some occasions. One thing is, though, now your screwdriver is magnetic, so sometimes you don't want them to be. Anyway, so that'll hold that screw in place, and I'll be able to get it started. See if I'm in the picture or out of the picture, or what I'm doing there. Go ahead and start that screw. Much easier when it's hanging onto the screwdriver. Don't want to cross thread it and screw your points up, or your distributor. And I just generally get it down so it's not snug, but just a little bit. That way when I adjust these things, it won't slide back to a bad position. Alright. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and open these guys up just a bit. I'm right on top of that lobe there still. Open them up just a bit. And that looks pretty good. Give it a check. Oh yeah. It's just right. Now if I can get it to stay there when I tighten the locking screw, we'll be in. And usually they move. They usually get, I believe, a little bit tight. So we'll see how that went. Wow, I got lucky and that thing stayed right on. So there's my points. And then you have your there we go. Then you have your little condenser wire here, which goes kind of up and around and over to the little contact on the condenser. I prefer my little contact to be bent upward just a bit, which tends to keep this point wire up out of the way of things. Don't want it getting hung up in your points or anything. So I tend to tip it up just a skosh, and then put that guy back on there. There we go. And that, if you tip it up just a little bit, then that keeps this little wire here up over the top of your points and not down into them where it's touching. A little bit of point grease on there, Vaseline, whatever you're using. Little dab will do ya. Give that a quick little clean. Should have done that without the points in it. Alright, I'm going to give that a little dab of grease, and then we're going to go ahead and reinstall it in the car. It's all gapped and ready to go. So let me find some grease here.